Welcome to episode 4 of Coffee with Robbie. Today's episode is brought to you by my unofficial sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts. And today I'm going to talk about a guy named Tim Ferriss. Now, many of you have read his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, or The 4-Hour Body, and have also been following him online, similar to me. When I'm going to talk about how Tim Ferriss has changed my daily routines, and Tim Ferriss has also changed how I view my career and my life. And really, because of Tim Ferriss, I have made a significant advancement in how I live my life and my career. And I really, really owe it to Tim Ferriss. And it started with this book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Escape 9 to 5, Live Anywhere, and Join the New Rich. If that's not the greatest book cover of all time, I don't know what is. And when I was recommended this book by a friend, probably about 5 years ago, a long time ago, I went through 3 stages with Tim Ferriss. First stage was, I love this guy. This guy is awesome. I want to work the 4-hour work week. The book was very tactical. It told me step by step what to do, how to make passive income, how to get virtual assistants, and how to potentially get a 4-hour work week. And so I fell in love with it. And the second stage was 2 years later, when I didn't implement anything in the book. I thought, you know what, this guy is really a fraud. I mean, like, the stories were ludicrous. The tactics are only possible for people that are, that are single and have a silver spoon and can take as many risks as their life and travel the world. And that's when I really started despising Tim Ferriss. And look at the inside this book cover here. And he says he speaks 6 languages, runs a multinational firm from 6 locations worldwide, and is a world record holder in tango, a national champion in Chinese kickboxing, and an actor on a hit television series in Hong Kong. He is 30 years old. Really? Really, Tim Ferriss? That's why I was like, that either there's 2 things. You've lied an entire book, or 2 is that you're just superhuman and you're not like anybody else. And so that's why I sort of dismissed him for a long time. I was like, the 4-hour work week, I see him, creating videos that are, long videos. I'm like, there's no way you actually do a 4-hour work week. And the third stage, which I'm in now, which I think I'll be in for essentially the rest of my life, is holy shit, I've been misinterpreting Tim Ferriss and the 4-hour work week for a long time. And I came to the conclusion of the 4-hour work week is not just about working 4 hours a week. And that's what I was so stuck on. The 4-hour work week is about, how do I change my life? How do I change my routines to live a career and life that's I want. I want to join the new rich, but how do I get there? And what I've learned from, especially his blog posts online and this book, is that it is possible, but you have to make a few significant changes to make this possible. And that's why I want to talk about the 2 things that I learned from Tim Ferriss. One is that the system is designed to control you. The system is designed to control you. The 9 to 5 system is designed to control you. And what I mean by that is that in order to maintain control with all the billions of people and millions of people in America, there has to be some sort of system, and that system is the 9 to 5 job. And during the period where I hated Tim Ferriss, I thought, well, this is the system, everyone's doing it, and there's no other way out. And when I realized that, no, the system is for the 99% of the people that don't want to take any risk and don't want to do what they're meant to do, mainly because they're stuck on their salary jobs. And I realized that in order for me to succeed, I have to really get out of this system. And that's a big reason why I quit my job, 4 years ago, was I needed to get out of that mentality. And once I understood that the system is designed to control you, and there is a way to success, not just by your typical 9 to 5 job. And what I mean by that is for me, that's why I created Fire Me, I Beg You. I didn't learn that from something on the job. I learned it from my own necessities. I learned marketing on my own. I learned writing. I was a horrible, horrible writer in high school, college. I swear to you, I was the worst writer of life. I learned writing by following people that are very good at it and really just mimicking them. And that's why I started to love James Altucher. I started mimicking other people's writings. And when I realized that by me learning these things on my own, that I was able to get out of the traditional 9 to 5 system and create a life for me that is worthwhile. And so that was something that I learned, that the system is designed to control you. And number 2 is you have to look at the big picture in your life. And if you look at it from this angle of very tunnel focus, you're not going to succeed. And let me give you an example. I have a friend that is one of the best writers of life, and I've changed his profession slightly. He is an amazing writer, honestly one of the best writers I've ever seen in my life. Every time he writes something, I'm like, this guy is onto something. But the problem is he doesn't do that full time. He does another job that pays him well, and he's sort of been stuck in that system. And he kind of came to me and said, well, Robbie, I'm thinking about quitting, but I can't become a writer. The reason I'm not quitting is if I become a writer, writers don't make that much money. And I said to him, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because if I thought like that, if I thought, well, I don't want to write because I don't want to become a writer and they only make $35,000 a year, then I wouldn't have Fire Me, I Beg You. If I said, well, I don't want to do marketing because I don't really enjoy it, and I don't want to work for an agency, and I can make more money than that, then I would have never had Fire Me, I Beg You. And you have to look at the big picture of what skills you have outside of your traditional 9 to 5 that can create a lot of value. And that's similar to like Humans of New York. If that Humans of New York guy said, the main photographer behind Humans of New York, if he just said, well, I don't want to get into photography because photographers don't make much money and I don't want to shoot weddings, Humans of New York would never become a thing, because that's the mentality. So if you're stuck in a situation and you're tunnel focused on, oh, this job makes this much money, realize that you're extremely stupid. Yes, I know that we need a salary to live, and we need a salary because we have responsibilities. I am a huge believer in that. You do not quit if you can't afford it. I'm a huge believer in that. But if you think, well, I can only get this specific job, then you're thinking small, and that's where you can't think. So look at the big picture. And if you're stuck in a job that you hate and you want to look at life differently, start with the 4-hour work week. You'll probably go through the same phases of me of you'll love him, you'll absolutely hate him, and then when you come to your senses, you'll love him again. But definitely check out Start with the 4-hour work week.